I know, Dave, you'd totally die. I wouldn't have believed that a monkey could rob a bank either. Well, that were the headlines. We'll be back with more news later. Next up on TalkTube, it's Dear Mason. TalkTube. Hello and welcome. You're listening to TalkTube, the talk radio station that listens. And this is Dear Mason, with me, Mason Dog, making the world a better place, one piece of advice at a time. You've got problems, and I'm gonna fix them. Listener, ever since I was a little boy, all I've ever wanted to do is help people. And I always knew that given the chance, I would change the world. So when I got the opportunity to come and work at TalkTube, I jumped on it. We've been on a journey, haven't we? We've laughed, we've cried. I've given you invaluable pearls of wisdom time and time again without asking for anything in return, because that's just the sort of man my mother raised me to be. Remember, if you want me to fix your problems, call 8222-288-5919 and leave a voice message. We've got lots to get to today, so let's see what troubled soul needs my help first.
Dear Mason, thank you so much for featuring me on your channel. I am a huge fan of Mason. I'm looking for some advice today, and I think you're the only one that can help me out. I go to my local library every single day. Now, last week, I was in the cookbook section, flipping through Jeffrey Dahmer's latest recipes, when I looked up and saw a very charming young man. I happened to notice that he has been in the library every day at 3:30 p.m. and leaves approximately at 4:57 in the afternoon. He happens to be in the thriller and true crime section for most of this time. I would like to get to know this young man better, but I have no idea how. Mason, how do I get this literary genius to notice me? Thank you so much. J.D. Lane.
JD, thanks for getting in touch. That made me emotional, and I do hope that you get your happy ending with Mr. Right. But I've got good news for you. By calling me, you've already taken a step in the right direction. If there's one thing I'm an expert on, it's matters of the heart. As you might know, despite only being 25, I've already been married to 3 different women, and me and wifey number 4 are due to tie the knot in just a few short weeks. Nobody can deny that's a high success rate. 4 separate women said yes when I asked them to marry me, so I think it's safe to say I'm doing something right, and I know what I'm talking about. To me, the most amazing thing about all of this is that you met in a library. That is so romantic. But honestly, I didn't know that libraries still existed. I thought the government shut them all down, and rightly so, because don't people just use Kindle these days? It's far more convenient and environmentally friendly, in my opinion. So what should you do? JD, you sound like an intelligent, charming, observant lady, and this shouldn't be hard. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Men are easy, and to get what you want, all you've got to do is get him thinking with his small brain, if you know what I'm saying. It seems that he's a thriller fan, so you've got to give him some thrills. Remember, he's probably an office worker with a 9-to-5 job. Same thing day in, day out. He needs some variety, some excitement, JD, and you can be the one to give it to him. Thanks to your observational skills, you know when he leaves the library, so my advice is, follow him home. Wait till he's at work. Let yourself in. No, I don't know who this Jeffrey Dahmer guy is because I don't personally like celebrity chefs. They're all about fine dining, which I don't believe in because it's a conspiracy theory promoted by people who want to kill the fast food industry. But why don't you cook your fancy man one of his meals? I can't personally think of anything more romantic than Mr. Right coming home from a hard day's work at the office to find you waiting for him in the kitchen, wearing something nice with a home-cooked meal straight from Mr. Jeffrey Dahmer's recipe book. Men love home-cooked meals, JD. They remind us of our mothers and make us feel looked after. Wifey number 3 always cooked meals from scratch, and they were delicious. Yes, she put rat poison in my spaghetti bolognese that one time, and yes, I did spend 3 months in a coma, but it was an accident, and the police were mistaken when they said that she tried to murder me despite all their fabricated evidence. I shouldn't really talk about that though, because the application process for her appeal is still ongoing. I do miss that woman though. Don't worry, wifey number 4 understands. She loves her sister just as much as I do. Well, JD, I hope that helped. And let's be honest, it probably did because I'm a genius. But if it didn't, I know something that definitely will. Hold that thought, stay tuned people, because we'll be right back after this. Is conventional social media getting you down? Are you bored of the generic information your friends post and those pesky privacy settings that mean you can't see what your neighbour's up to? If the answer to those questions is yes, then sign up to Stalker today. Social Talker is the fastest growing community-based social media platform in the world. Stalker encourages its users to post every single intimate detail of their life, and each post comes with an exact GPS coordinate so everybody knows where everybody else is at all times. Make sure the world knows what you're doing. When you go shopping, when you come home, when you're eating, sleeping, or even using the bathroom. With the Stalker app, you can live stream important life events, like the next argument you have with your partner, as long as you tell us all about the hot session of angry makeup sex. Why not tell the world everything, if you have nothing to hide? Don't forget, you can embarrass your children too. Document their entire life, from the moment of their conception, through their birth, and up to their first kiss as an awkward teenager. Why not read excerpts from their diary? After all, they're your children, and they don't deserve privacy. Plus, for the price of just $10.99, you can sign up to the Stalker Buddy system. A Stalker professional will be assigned to follow a person of your choice. Then they can set up and maintain a profile for them, so they don't have to. Don't miss out on any more hot gossip. Sign up to Stalker today. Social Talker, putting the S in Stalker. TalkTube. Welcome back everybody, you're listening to Dear Mason on TalkTube, the talk radio station that listens. You know, I woke up this morning and I felt great. I was thinking about all the people I've helped since the start of Dear Mason. Couples have gotten married because of me. I've coached teenagers through the difficulties of high school, advised people on what houses and cars to buy. I really feel that I'm making a difference. I really wish people could wake up with the sense of achievement that I feel on a day-to-day basis, because it's a great feeling. Let's move on to the next caller, shall we?
Hello Mason, I'm calling today with a little bit of a delicate topic. I currently have some meat that I can't refrigerate due to storage issues. My fridge just isn't big enough, you see. At the moment, I am keeping it up in the attic, but the problem is it's starting to smell a bit, and it is quite pungent. One or two of the neighbours has complained, and I really can't have anybody coming to inspect the property because I like my privacy. Do you have any advice on how to cover up the strong smell, the very strong smell of rotting flesh, or a private location in which I can dispose of the meat without disturbing anybody? Thanks, Mason. I really hope you can help.
I don't really know what to say. I really sincerely hope that that's a joke. Bit dark though, if it is. Let's move on to the next caller.
Hello Mason, long time listener, first time caller. I'm calling in today because I have a real big issue. Over the last few months I've been collecting so many books from charity shops that I've now had to create what can only be described as a towering book wall. Please find attached said image of said wall. The reason I'm calling today is that recently when I've been getting into bed, I've been feeling the presence of the wall. In the background I can see against the darkness, it's so dark it's blue, I can see the outline of these books. And recently I've started hearing voices, these whispering voices, Mason, that they won't stop. And it's getting too much for me, to be honest. I I don't think I've slept probably in 4 days now. So, any thoughts would be great, Mason, because I'm losing my mind.
Well, listener, I'm glad that you've called. My heart goes out to you. It really does. This truly sounds like a serious situation, and I have to say that I'm glad that you've come to me rather than seeking professional help, because let's face it, I know more than they do, and my advice is free. I'm going to ask you a question that I want you to think long and hard about. Have you considered not going into charity shops? Listeners, I know that I sound like a highly intelligent, down-to-earth bloke with a perfect life, but I'm only human and I have problems too. A long time ago, I had to kick the habit of going into charity shops myself because I had accumulated a huge collection of novelty oven mitts, and to tell you the truth, it was getting out of hand. My advice would be to avoid charity shops altogether. Then you should go and burn the book wall down along with your house, move locations, and in the future don't ever read a book again. Just watch television. Netflix has lots to offer. They're not a sponsor, I just really like them. Listener, whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope that you're okay. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We've all been there, on the edge of ecstasy. Begging for a release. Give it to me. You're right on the edge. You're about to blow. Then it goes away and it leaves you feeling frustrated. What you need is the Ultra Satisfaction DX900. It's got 15 different settings and an adjustable tip so you can get it right in there and hit the spot every time. Turn it on, stick it in, feel the satisfaction. The Ultra Satisfaction DX900. Because sometimes we all need to sneeze. I'm fed up, and my co-worker is embarrassing me when I don't have a +1 to the Christmas party. I'm sick of my friends asking when I'm gonna get married. I'm tired of my parents asking when I'm gonna settle down and start a family, even though me, Snowball and Mr. Tibbles are a family. Hi, I'm Tim, and you're in luck. What you need is a faux friend. At Faux Friends, we're proud to provide the gold standard in mechanical companions that can accompany you to any event. Whether it's a work, function, backyard barbecue, birthday party, wedding or funeral, it doesn't matter. Your faux friend will follow you wherever you go. They're frighteningly lifelike and we guarantee nobody will ask you any awkward questions. Charge them up, turn them on, and they're ready to serve your every need. There's no risk of the miscommunication that can come from fake dating somebody you met online, because you can't hurt your faux friend's feelings. They're not a real person and they don't have them. The best part is, when you've had enough of them, they've got an off button. Faux friends. Here when you want them, gone when you don't. TalkTube. Welcome back everybody, you're listening to TalkTube, the talk radio station that listens. This is Dear Mason, with me, Mason Dog. You've got problems, and I'm gonna solve them. Let's see who I can help next.
Mason, I need you to recommend me a book. I'm looking for a book that has a morally gray chosen one character who reluctantly decides to go on a quest journey with a mustache twirling villain who only likes girls who are not like other girls. There's magic in the world, but it's going away. The magic isn't too defined, not too ill-defined, not too hard, not too soft. But here comes the cavalry with the found family who meets some forbidden lovers who are entangled in a love triangle, who is actually a secret heir resurrected in the last second in a high-stakes medieval setting with dragons. Thanks.
For God's sake, I don't get paid enough for this. Somebody fetch me a bottle of water and tell them to keep it down in Studio 2. I'm on air here. Oh. Well, that was extremely confusing. I admit I have absolutely no clue what that caller was talking about. Is there a problem?
Yes, she was talking about fantasy novels. I'm personally quite impressed. She listed every fantasy trope which shows a high level of expertise.
Yeah, shut up, Steve. We've talked about this. You're a producer. Stick to pressing your little buttons and leave the talking to the professional. Right, fantasy novels. Unfortunately, I don't read children's literature. Dragons and fairies, it's all just a little bit lowbrow, isn't it? I tend to stick to serious publications like Luxury Car Monthly. There was a fantastic article in this month's edition about conserving fuel when driving over 150 miles an hour. It was fascinating. When it comes to fantasy, I just don't get it. I've never been that much of a nerd, to be honest. I tried to watch the King of the Ring films at some point. Yes, Steve?
It's the Lord of the Rings, not the King of the Ring. That's WWE.
Steve, I'm trying to do my job here. Shut up and do yours, or I'll have you fired. As I was saying, I tried to watch the King of the Ring films at some point and just didn't understand. They were all talking in Shakespearean language, and I couldn't work out whether the two little guys were together or not. I kept waiting for them to kiss, but it never happened. Don't even say anything, Steve. I can see your face. I don't want to hear it. The only fantasy I've ever read was a book left behind by wifey number 3 when she went away. It was called The Garden of Lies by Zackary a Pieper, and it was actually pretty good. I read it one day whilst I was spending a penny, shall we say, and afterwards I couldn't feel my legs because of how long I sat there. It had cool werewolf people in it, and honestly, I love werewolves. So yeah, that would probably be my recommendation when it comes to fantasy. Alright, let's see who needs my wisdom next.
Hello, could you help me please? My son is getting married to an alien. She has long claws, orange skin, and speaks a language I don't understand. Please help me before it's too late.
Honestly, I am sick of this, Mum. We've been over this again and again. I'm not even sure who gave you access to the phone because I pay them not to do that. Listener, I'm sure I don't need to tell you this because you're a sane human being, although, judging by the people who've left messages for today's show, possibly not. My girlfriend, who isn't just my girlfriend by the way, she's my fiancée, is not an alien. She's a hairdresser from Scotland. That was extremely embarrassing, so let's move on quickly.
Mason, where are you? Rat, you better not be recording another one of those stupid radio shows. You were supposed to meet us with the car. Now you're not here, and the pigs are all over us. If you've had anything to do with this, you're finished. Finished!
How strange. That was clearly a wrong number. It's time to pay the bills. Anyway, we'll be back after this commercial break. This Sunday, live from the Sweatbox Arena, it's your angry teenage son's favourite band, Rat Guts. Featuring smash hits like Corrosive Vomit, I Killed My Neighbor's Cat, Mommy Doesn't Love Me, and Sparkling Rainbows of Death. It's not sold out, because why would it be? Your kid is basically guaranteed to come back with an injury that you paid for, but if you don't, they'll say you don't love them. Take them to Rat Guts, live and in action. Tickets available from all reputable vendors. TalkTube.
Dear Mason, I need your help. One of my friends is a reader like me, and I want to share all of my favorite books with him so we can chat about it. The only problem is, he doesn't like horror. He says he's a big chicken, but yet he'll read thrillers and mysteries that sometimes involve horrible things happening to men, such as losing an important part of their bodies. That's horror. So my question to you is, how do I convince my friend to read horror when it's called horror instead of some of these that he's reading called thrillers? Thanks. Yours truly, the Nerdy Narrative, aka the Murder Queen.
Wait a second, I know who this woman is. She actually sent me this question via a letter in the post, and I have no clue how she got my address. It's actually pretty creepy. Well, Murder Queen, if that is your real name, which it's not because I looked you up on Stalker and you're not on there, this is a pretty passag way of dealing with your problems. I have a friend called Rhiannon who would most definitely put you on a list for this. Your friend sounds like a handsome, intelligent young man, and you could have just raised this issue with him directly, but instead you've asked a random man on a radio station for advice. Not exactly what I would call a friend, even if I do give fantastic advice. Murder Queen, have you considered that when your friend says he doesn't like horror, what he's actually saying is he doesn't like the paranormal? Thrillers are far more grounded in reality. They tend to focus on dark and twisted situations that could actually happen. The characters tend to be morally corrupt. They can be criminals, and maybe even murderers, serial or otherwise. And isn't that frightening enough, without bringing ghosts, demons, and other supernatural entities and spirits into the equation? After all, when you're murdered, your terrifying ordeal is over, but when the paranormal is involved, death may not be an escape. In my opinion, it sounds like your friend has some unresolved issues surrounding death. Perhaps the paranormal makes him consider the afterlife, which makes him consider what will happen when he dies, which reminds him that he will die, and that terrifies him, so he avoids it. Avoids thinking about the nature of reality and whether he has a soul or not. The big questions that make him feel small. Of course, the problem could be that ghosts aren't illegal, and that's what he likes reading about. So my advice is, next time you're trying to recommend a horror novel, provide him with a big list of all the crimes that take place, and that way he can focus on the illegal activity rather than the paranormal activity. You're welcome, Murder Queen. I'm sure that will help. The only reason I give my wisdom away for free is because I'm such a nice person. But that was excellent advice. Sometimes I even surprise myself, but not often, because I'm an excellent judge of character, and I think I'm brilliant. Let's move on to the next caller while I'm on a roll.
Hello, this is Sharon, your wisdom warrior, and I this is actually pretty embarrassing, but I do need help. You see, I'm usually really good at navigating the cornfields, but I am a little lost. Can you believe that? And I'm alone, and because I'm lost and alone, I don't want to die. So if you could help me, do you have anybody you could contact? Can you help me get out of the cornfield? I don't know who else to go to. You're the only DJ I trust in the area. And if you could help me, that would be great.
Steve, I'm concerned about this woman. Do you think she actually knows this isn't a live call-in? How long ago did she leave this message? Oh God, it was right after last week's show. Steve, can we call her back? We should probably try to see if she's okay. Call her back. Oh God, Steve, this is not good. I hope she picks up the phone. Pick up. The person you are calling is dead. Oh, shit. You've been listening to Dear Mason, the advice show making the world a better place, one problem at a time. Next up on TalkTube, it's gruesome, it's dreadful, and it will make you despise humanity. Stay tuned for the news. TalkTube.